Brady. This is going to be exciting.
And the INDYCAR restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
And we're live. Welcome to the Goat Locker Racing Lincoln Tech INDYCAR Series race number 3 from Daytona International Raceway. Hello, I'm Rick Ravon, alongside, sitting right next to me up here in the booth, Noah Haggard. And Noah, I think we're going to have maybe not as good of a race as we had last week at Phoenix because of the nature of the course, but for a road course, I think this one could be a barn burner.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really What the fuck?
So, okay, Noah, we'll catch you up we'll catch up with you in a minute. Right now, we're just finishing up with qualifying, and Brian Provo, I would say no surprise, Mario Jacobellis is out there as well, but Brian, he ran a lap at 133.955. Mario Jacobellis not too far behind, 134.6. And this isn't exactly a small track. This is a pretty decent sized track. So 134 flat now for Provo. Mario Jacobellis, 134.638. Ryan Pendleton, 134.554. So the top 3 are really within a stone's throw of one another. Here we are, Daytona Beach, Florida, 3.5 miles around, and 12 turns on this place. And you got some pretty long, you got a long backstretch with a little bit of a chicane area in there. And then you've got, when you get into almost the start-finish line, there's a lot of opportunities here to draft and stay close to one another. So it's not going to be easy to get away from anybody here. And we're still waiting. Noah Haggard is still working with his equipment, trying to get it to work. In the meantime, taking a look again, Brian Provo still with the top time here, 134.057. It looks like Mario Jacobellis, he might solidly be in second now. I think they're in the pits. Matthias Ezekiel Macromini is still out there on the track. And I think that maybe we have Noah's mic might be back here.
Yeah, I think I might be back now. I don't know what was going on there with my computer, but I am back. I just want to quickly run over the track, of course, for Daytona. Daytona is just one of those tracks that has these just wide banking ovals, but also these really tight technical corners that I really think is going to be the hot spot. You know, if we have really any instance this race, I think that's going to be our hot spot for instance, just because of just how technical those corners can be. But I also want to see, I think there's going to be a lot of passing definitely in these banked ovals. It's probably the best spot to pass, I think, in my opinion, you know, with just how high banked these banking ovals are going to be and how people can just pass so easily on the inside or outside. So I'm really excited for this race. I think it's going to be really fun to see these Indy cars take on Daytona. I've seen the NASCAR take it on. I've seen the IMSA series, you know, that just recently happened. But I think the Indy cars are going to put on a great show tonight here, Rick.
I think you're right about that, Noah. I think that we're going to see Provo and Jacob Ellis going at it tooth and toenail, probably for most of the race. So today we're here at Daytona. We ran Phoenix last week. You can see the rest of the schedule right there. Next week we'll be going to Chicago, and then Chicagoland, Pocono, Watkins Glen, and the rest of the season as you see it right there. Wrapping up with the season finale at the the great Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I've got to say it like that, the greatest spectacle in racing. This is shaping up to be a fantastic season, Noah.
Yeah, and there's just so many tracks on here that I'm just so excited to see people race on. I mean, especially Pocono, I think that's going to be such a fun race to watch because Pocono is just such a huge track, and these Indy cars can just rip on through it. And I'm circling Road Atlanta there too. I think Road Atlanta is going to be quite a spectacle to watch. But I definitely think, you know, you said it best. The great Indianapolis Speedway is going to be such a spectacle to watch for the championship, and I'm just so excited to see that.
Well, you and me both. Let's go through the grid now. Brian Provo's got the pole. Of course, this is the Jam Printing Pole Award. The Jam Printing Pole Award. You know, since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning. God bless them. Local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. So that Jam Printing Pole Award goes to Brian Provo. Let's go through the rest of the field now. Mario Jacob Ellis going to be outside of row number 1. He was just a blink of an eye slower than Provo. On to row number 2, Ryan Pendleton will be on the inside, and then Wesley Burke on the outside. Row number 3 consists of Matthias Macromini and Cody Anderson. Going now to row 4, Samuel Yosef, James Silvers. Who do we got in row 5?
In row 5, we have Daryl Young in the 11 car, joined by Zachary Menace. We got Jamie Lipke and Brandon Wallace making up the next row, with Cody Turner and Bill Mofield making up your next one, with Jay Molyneux and Alan Bergen. And then to round it off, we have Colton Sisk.
So 17 cars are in this event. A little bit more than we've had the last couple of weeks, but iRacing is not running any special events, so the car count's going to continue to go up. 17 cars, beginning with Provo on the and then bookending with Colton Sisk. I'm really looking forward to this. I think that Provo and Jacob Ellis are going to be the class of the field tonight. Brian Pendleton, no slouch. He's starting right behind them with Wesley Burke. I really think that because of the long straightaways and even the long banked corners, I can't really see the leaders getting away from one another. I think we're going to see a real, as they would say back in the day, a real ding-dong battle right to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the point standings currently right now. Provo and Mario Jacob Ellis are close in that battle with Cody Anderson and Wesley Burke just kind of in the mix there. And I just find it really interesting how Provo is just in the lead right now with only a 6-point gap. You know, it's still really close right now. And I know it's only week 3, but it's just such a close battle right now for who's going to be on top.
All right, so here we go. Brian Provo, who, by the way, is also our current points leader over Mario Jacob Ellis, 81 points to 75 respectively, leads them around. We're about to go green. The pace car ducks off the racetrack. And here we go. Looking for the green, and there it is. The race is underway at Daytona. And immediately it's a side-by-side battle between the two leaders. We knew this was going to, just still side-by-side. Provo on the outside, Jacob Ellis on the inside, and Jacob Ellis picks up the lead just that quickly. And we'll watch to see just how close Provo and Pendleton can stay to Jacob Ellis.
Yeah, and everybody's just so closely bunched together right now. This is the point of the race where you need to just make sure, you know, you're not going to go off the track or take someone out, because everybody's just so closely bunched together. Once we see a couple more laps come in, people are going to be more evenly spaced out. But right now, it's just so chaotic with everybody's close together like this.
Well, this is a 30 lap race, Noah, as you know, and these cars will get, well, let's say about 9 laps to a tank full. If you conserve a little bit, here's the interesting part. If you conserve, you can stretch it to 10 laps. You can actually make it to that 30 lap mark in 2 stops. Now, I know we talked to a couple of these drivers, Samuel Joseph being one of them. He plans to perhaps employ that. He said he wasn't positive, but it's definitely something he was looking into. Fuel strategy could really come into play here.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it too. You know, different engine maps can just lead to a whole different strategy when it comes to fuel. And I'm really interested to see how these drivers are just going to take those engine maps to their advantage and see how long they can last out there on fuel. Because I definitely agree with that. I think fuel is going to be such a huge factor here. Not only fuel, but also tires. It is a really hot track out there right now. 113 degrees when I calculated it. And those rear tires are going to be burning up the whole race. I mean, Rick, I know with your experience, you kind of know about tire setting like that, but such a hot track like this, I mean, how do you take care of the tires in these kind of conditions?
Well, you just really have to take it easy on it. And of course, on a road course, you don't have a weight jacker to deal with. That's only for the circle tracks, the oval tracks. But here, and we've got a car with damage, car 28. Let's see who that. Car 28's got the nose broken off. See if we can find out who that was. Somebody in the back of the field. I'm trying to scan behind. Is that Colton Sisk? Oh, we got another car with an issue.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, with everybody just being bunched up like this, it can just lead to incidents like that. And as we see with Indy cars, if you just even breathe on them, they're just going to bust into 15 different pieces. So it's really important to keep your nose clean, and it's important to stay away from other drivers because, I mean, even just touching them can lead to damage here.
Oh, and it looks like Macromini's in the wall. Matthias Macromini. Oh, serious problems. Macromini's got his nose dangling off the car. He's going to have to make a pit stop as well. Cody Anderson. Let's go back to the replay and see what happened. You're looking at Cody Anderson now. Excuse me. Macromini. Now he's coming in. Well, this is the live shot. Okay, we just saw. Oh, both of them are coming in. So serious problems. And Samuel Joseph is running in 17th place right now. Let me take a look and see it. Now, he's also in the pits. Something happened with Joseph. So Samuel Joseph, Cody Anderson, Macromini, all into the pits. Lap number 2. Here's a replay. You're looking. Oh, he got tapped from behind. It looks like he got turned around from behind. Let's take another look at it. They're going into that little chicane up, and there it was. There it was. Cody Anderson. Just some tight racing, some hard racing. That's one of those areas of the racetrack where you don't really want to get too close to one another. It is such a tight jink, a quick right left. And if you get too close to somebody, that's exactly what can happen.
Yeah, and you know, it's lucky that in this series we have a fast repair because, you know, so early in this race, it sucks to take your fast repair. But I mean, I would rather take my fast repair than stay in the pits for almost 10 minutes. So they have to drive really carefully now because if they wreck again, you know, their race is over. And I want to see I'm seeing a close battle right here now with Provo and Jacob Ellis right now. They are just neck and neck fighting for each other right now, trying to see who can get that first spot. I mean, these are currently our two top leaders in points, and they are just battling out right now in these corners. I mean, I really hope they don't wreck, because I mean, they're just getting so close to each other, like inching and inching further every corner. I mean, it's almost crazy to think, but you know, are these drivers, you know, going to end up in a wreck just because of how close they're driving to each other? I mean, they're going to misjudge a braking point at some point, that something might happen.
Issues with my equipment once again. I called that pass, or the attempted pass, Jacob Ellis and Provo going at it, but my microphone didn't pick it up, so I'll be looking at that issue definitely during the week. Meanwhile, they're still looking at the battle for the lead. Jacob Ellis still has it. Provo's not letting him go anywhere as they head for the chicane area. And again, once they come out of the chicane, you'll see, Noah, that Brian Provo will be able to reel him in. And there's another thing that we have to consider here. On a road course, you do have push to pass available. Not only is the push to pass available, but also that hybrid system is available. Look at Provo. Reeling him in. He's going to look outside. I don't know if he's going to have enough to get by, but it's going to be interesting as they head for turn one. Let's keep an eye. Provo noses ahead just barely, but no. Jacob Ellis is able to hold him off. And he's starting to pull away a little. He's got 10 car lengths on him that quick.
It's crazy what this push to pass, this hybrid system can do with these cars. I mean, they can just take off, like, just instant, just like that.
You see, Jacob Ellis got a little loosey-goosey coming off of there. That turn two, I believe that was. That's what happens with these hot temperatures. These tires, the red tires, do seem to fall off pretty quickly. So they still have, we are on lap number 5. So if they're conserving fuel, maybe they'll get 10 laps. If not, 9 laps. We're looking at about 4 or 5 laps to go until a pit stop. And believe me, these guys are going to be glad to get rid of those reds.
Yeah, and I overheard some pre-race chatter. You know, the alternate tires on this track are actually not really that great. And I think a lot of drivers are kind of going to save those tires for later just because they're just such a nuisance on this hot track temperature.
Oh, we've got an incident. Who is that, James Molyneux? No? Cody Turner? Yes, indeed. Cody Turner had an incident there. Maybe we could get a replay of it. Oh, we saw. Here it comes. All right, here they come. There's Molyneux. Just behind. Oh, maybe got tapped from behind. That's what it looked like. He may have gotten tapped from behind by Cody Turner. Oh, Turner got tapped from behind. There goes another car around. That's Cody Turner. Very similar looking paint jobs here. I don't want to do this anymore. See, I knew this.
And I want to take a look at we're still at the battle right now with Provo and Jacob Ellis. And, you know, they're still going ham at it, still fighting. One corner, one gets close to the other one, the next corner he's gone. I mean, it's so interesting to see how this hybrid system, this push pass is working. Some drivers want to take it on a corner, some take it on the straight. It's just so interesting to me to see how they just get so close to each other, then so far apart almost instantaneously.
Yes, indeed. Back to the leaders. Provo, now he's about, well, half a second behind Jacob Ellis. He should be able to reel in pretty quickly in the draft. I started to say, you've got push to pass here, and you also have the hybrid. And if you're slick, you can actually use them at the same time and get a little bit of an extra boost. Not a lot of drivers know that, but anybody who watches this broadcast now will know that. So it is possible to use both at the same time if you want that little extra boost. Now let's see.
I'm also really interested to see. Currently, there's Ryan Pelland and Wesley Burke are kind of into it right now, 2 seconds apart. As I think Wesley is now going to be pitting. I wonder if that's going to be for fuel or maybe a tire change. I'm interested to see what that's all about. Provo and Jacob Ellis are still going at it. still fighting. They still getting closer and closer, yet still fall apart. I just can't believe how close and far they get. It's almost like it's a magnet towards Jacob Bellis's car, and he just keeps getting pulled forward, and then they just get pulled back. I mean, it's just like magnetic poles. It's so interesting to see that. And I kind of want to go back into the field right now, take a look at Menace and Molyneux now. They're getting really close right now. Seeing the same kind of magnet pull action I was talking about earlier. It's getting closer, then fall apart. Rick, it's so interesting to me how this kind of system works like this. And now as drivers getting more spaced out, is there strategy you're thinking about? Is there any strategy you're thinking about right now when it comes to fuel? Do you maybe want to turn down your fuel amount now since it's all spaced out, or do you want to turn it up and go all out now?
Well, Noah, problems with the mic. You couldn't hear me again. I've got to straighten that out. My apologies for that. But it really all depends. I mean, I think that one of the reasons that you're seeing them get spread out is because the guys behind, the guys who are falling behind, may be on that alternate strategy, looking for a two-stop race, and it just might work. Looking at the leaders, once again, just like I said, they're neither one of these two is going to let the other one go get very far ahead. They're still close together, and I think it's going to be like that the entire race. Meanwhile, let's talk about GLR Pit Crew. The GLR Pit Crew program is one of our great sponsors, and it's a monthly giving initiative designed to provide consistent, meaningful support in our fight against PTSD, mental health struggles, and suicide in the veteran and first responder community. When you join, you're not just making a donation, you're becoming part of a team. The team that keeps this mission moving forward. Learn more or join today at goatlockerracing.org and click on the Pit Crew banner. GLR Pit Crew.
Something I do want to add about that Pit Crew, if you do sign up, you get a sweet red t-shirt that you definitely need to snag. So I would definitely sign up for that Pit Crew to get that t-shirt.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to get mine. You going to get yours? I'm going to get mine.
I think Provo is now going down into the pits. And Pendleton's going to join him.
And it's only lap number 8. Only lap number 8, so it's going to be a three-stop race for the leaders. Mario Jacobellis is still out there. James Silvers is going to pick up second place now. He's about 7 seconds behind Jacobellis, and Darrell Young is right behind Silvers as Provo makes his way out of the pits. But we'll watch. If Jacobellis comes in on this lap, he's still going to have to make 3 stops. The guys behind who only have to make 2, they might have a subtle advantage right now.
Yeah, it was just like I was talking about earlier about these different fuel maps. It's so interesting how someone can just make a strategy call and just lower down their fuel map or higher up their fuel map just so they can get faster or slower. I'm just so interested to see the whole results and how this is going to unfold here.
Okay.
And I want to take a look here back into the field. I want to take a look at James Silvers and Darrell Young. They are currently really close together right now. And like you said, with that hybrid system, I bet Darrell Young might want to turn on that push fast as he is gaining right now on James Silvers for that 3rd place position.
Just still playing with the mic, just trying to get everything working smoothly. Darrell Young comes into the pits now. James Silvers is also in. And Jacob Ellis, our leader, you can see right there, he's in the pits. Now, what's going to be interesting about this particular pit stop, we'll keep an eye on Brian Provo as well as he comes around to see if there's going to be a lead change here. Jacob Ellis has led pretty much right from the start, and that was a very, very quick pit stop. That was a quick pit stop. Only, let's see, what was it, 8 seconds. Only 8 total seconds in the box. Very quick stop. Here he comes out of the pits. We're going to take a look to see. There's Brian Provo. Provo comes around, and Provo's going to pick up the lead. You see it right there. Brian Provo takes the lead, and he's on black tires. So is Jacob Ellis. First and second in the points battle as well. They're on the track, still battling as they have been right from the green flag.
And it is just so exciting to watch these two fight. I mean, we've seen it almost the whole race. They are just going at it with no stopping.
Well, we knew it was going to be this way. These two really on the road courses have been the class of the field. Jacob Ellis in particular seems almost unbeatable at times. I mean, he just puts that car number 48 on rails. But Brian Provo's been really just a thorn in his side. Here he comes again. Now Jacob Ellis looking to the outside. They're coming towards the chicane. It's going to be close. You know, it's so fun to watch these guys run together because you know that as hard as they're racing one another, you know that they trust one another. I don't think I've ever seen them actually make contact, and we've seen them race side by side a lot. So this is good stuff. Whoa, what happened? What happened to Provo right there? Did you see there was a little wiggle? Maybe he was checking one of his gauges or making an adjustment. He reached down to make an adjustment to a roll bar or something, but he touched the apron and nearly lost it. That was almost day done for Provo. That would have sent him straight into the wall.
And that's what makes these cars so interesting. I mean, even if you just barely touch the apron at this track, you know, that whole car can just turn on you just like that. And that just cost Provo some good seconds there on Jacob Ellis.
We've got more pit stops taking place now. Zachary Minnis is in the pits. He might be the last one. And he made it 10 laps. So that's going to be interesting. Zachary Minnis, we'll see what his time is in the box. Provo and Jacob Ellis separated by about half a second. We'll just take the time to watch him. He's down, getting that last bit of fuel. 8.6 seconds. Well, Cody Anderson now coming into the pits, or coming out of the pits, rather. So pit stops taking place. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, Mario Jacob Ellis, Brian Provo once again heading into the chicane. And look at this. This time, Jacob Ellis is able to get the job done. I think he probably used a little bit of push to pass and maybe mixed it with a little bit of that hybrid to get that job done. Look at Ryan Pendleton. This is a fight for third place. Pendleton is going at it with Wesley Burke. Burke is right behind Pendleton. Look at that shot from behind, just under the rear wing of Pendleton's car. Burke is going to sit right there. He could make a move here, but no, he's playing it cool. Maybe he's just trying to get under his skin a little bit. Maybe he's trying to shake him a little bit. He's going to look outside, looking to dive it into turn number one. This is another good battle that's going on.
I was not expecting how close of battles we were going to have today. We were looking back at Sonoma and how just spaced out the field was and how spaced out the action was.
Again.
And as we've seen, there's just so many. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many battles going on. We can't keep the camera on one battle because there's 10 other battles happening across the field.
Well, we've got a battle for the lead. We've got a battle for the final podium spot. Look at, they're almost side by side again. These guys are just going at it. You got to love this stuff. Look at how wide Provo gets, though. Jacob Ellis is able to take advantage and closes right in once again on Provo. Battle between Pendleton and Burke has kind of, they separated themselves a little bit. We'll keep our eyes on the leader. Provo out in front, heading for the chicane. That was where Jacob Ellis was able to take him the last time, but not this time. They're able to file through their single file.
And I think another important part of this is just staying in the draft. You know, if Jacob Ellis was just to turn a little bit more to the outside here, I mean, he would just get so much slower, you know, without that draft. And it's all, the whole point, you know, is just to stay right behind that guy just so you can go on the outside and make a move. But if you come out a corner and you're not right behind that guy, you're losing precious time.
Just fascinating to watch these two leaders. I don't know if either one of them really wants or needs to lead at this time. I mean, maybe they're just having fun right now because at this point, it doesn't really make sense to lead the race. Just sit there and wait until that last lap because you'll get a shot coming to the line. And I have a feeling that might be what we see. Who's going to be the leader, though, and who's going to be sitting in second place looking for that last lap slingshot? Look at Jacob Ellis. Boy, this is just so much fun to watch.
And I mean, they are just dogfighting right now. I think that is the best word to describe this kind of racing I'm seeing right now. Just absolute dogfighting going between Mario Jacob Ellis and Brian Provo right now. They are just neck and neck at each other, trying to get the first place spot. I am just so excited to see what's going to happen right now, Rick. I mean, this is some of the closest racing we've seen all season.
Meanwhile, Samuel Joseph is in the pits. He's making his second stop of the day. And on his way out of the pits, we'll stay on the leaders, though. Provo still with the lead. There you see Sam Joseph coming out. Bucky's sponsored car number 36. Jacob Ellis looks to the outside once again of Provo. Is he actually trying to pass? Are they just having fun? What are they thinking about? I mean, does it really pay off? As a racer myself, the question is, does it pay off to fight like this? I mean, they can get away with it because they're both very good at it, both very clean racers, but they're still human beings, and if somebody makes a mistake, it could cost dearly. So what is the point? Nobody's going to be able to leave one another, you know, so you might as well just stay there and wait for that last lap. That's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking a little bit more outside the box now. I'm thinking more, you know, inside the driver's head. You know, this could be an intimidation tactic right now, but these two drivers staying so close to each other like that can really get off your mental game. I know when I'm driving sometimes and someone's in my rearview mirror for a while, that kind of irritates me. You know, that kind of gets me, you know, out of my mental game, out of my focus. So I really wonder if these two drivers are implementing kind of a focused strategy here.
Well, that's what the trailing driver would want. Would want to get into the head of the guy he's trying to get around and maybe force a mistake. We're looking at Jamie Lipke right now. Jamie Lipke, we're looking at a replay. Does something happen between Lipke? Okay, he went wide into the corner and lost a little bit of ground there. So not a serious incident for Lipke. Lost a little bit of ground there. Leaders still going at it. It's going to be like this right to the checkered flag if they don't make a mistake. You could just feel it. Third place, Ryan Pendleton has slipped 6.5 seconds behind this battle for the lead. And you see them. Pendleton still battling with Wesley Burke. Burke in that car number 04, sponsored by Visa. Look at the pretty colors on that car. Look at him sweep around the outside. Oh, that was close. Oh, Wesley Burke gets a little bit sideways. And now they're going through that little S section. And Pendleton's going to maintain third place. But that battle is heating up as well. Jacob Ellis and Provo, they're probably going to stick together for the whole race, like we stated before a few times. Pendleton and Burke, closest battle on the racetrack other than the lead.
Yeah, and I want to point out real quick, you know, I've been noticing it now when I've been watching this race. I think the best corner right now for passing or getting time on the person in front of you is that chicane. That chicane right now, I think, is like the impact corner of the entire racetrack right now. I've seen so many different kind of passes, or I've seen many different kinds of attempts to get behind the guy and get more time just in that chicane alone.
Meanwhile, Samuel Joseph comes around Cody Turner and picks up 12th place. That was a nice pass by Sam. Turner falls back just a bit. And you know what? It looks like Joseph's going to run away. We've got a car off the track. And that's Cody Turner. Cody Turner off the track, noses it in to the tire barrier, loses a left front wing. Turner running in 13th place. Just 3 away from dead last. Incidentally, Colton Sisk is in dead last right now. Car number 18, the Monster Energy sponsored car. Here's the replay of it. Noses it in. Barely touched it, but still knocked off that left front wing. You would think with a hit like that, maybe you would just bend it, but it knocked it clean off. Thanks to iRacing for that. As we watch him go around, And you know, with damage like that on the road course, it's not going to affect him right where he's at right now because he's on the bank section of the track. But here is where it's going to affect him. Upcoming is that chicane. Anywhere where you have to make right or left turns on a flat section of the track, that's where you lose the front grip. So right through there, you see him coming very carefully through there. And as a matter of fact, just behind Cody Turner, you're going to see the leader, Mario Jacobellis. They're running him down right now. So Cody Turner is about to go a lap down. You saw them just at the end of that shot. Here they come. Here comes Turner. And there's the leaders right behind. Turner's going to do the gentleman thing. Well, no, he's coming into the pits. He's not just moving over for the leaders. He's coming in to get his fast repair to get that fixed.
Yeah, and damage on these Indy cars is just, it can be such a fatal blow. You know, if you got even a just even a little light tap, you know, that right, like we said, that right front wing, your left front wing can go off. That just changes the entire car's handling, just right there with just one tiny tap. I mean, I've seen it. We saw it at Sonoma. Sometimes people can control it. They have a little bit of damage in their left or right front wing, and they can still run it pretty okay. Still a couple of issues like that. We saw that in the Sonoma race where our leader, Mario Jacobellis, had some damage, but he can still run it around very well, considering his damage. But, you know, especially on this track, there's so many different left and right turns, so much banking, so much different changes and the angles and elevations. It could definitely be a huge issue.
We're looking right now at Matthias Macromini. He's right behind Zachary Minnis. And they were side by side for a second there. Minnis is able to hang on to the spot, but Macromini is all over Minnis right now. And he gets sideways. Zachary Minnis gets sideways. And he comes to a stop. He comes to a stop. And he's towing to the pits. I think he might be calling it quits. He may have had some sort of an electrical problem or something, because I believe his day might be done. Let's take another look at it. Here they are, side by side, Macromini and Minnis. I don't see any issues right here. Do you, Noah? All of a sudden, he sweeps to the outside, inside, and right there, he throws it sideways, maybe a little bit too much rear brake bias, and then he tows it back to the pits. Well, that one's a mystery.
It just looked like a little bit too much oomph going into that corner right there. You can just see kind of his rear tires start to spin, and then he just locks up the brakes entirely. But we know from experience that when you lock up these tires in this car, your tires are pretty much toast for a lap or two. You can't run anything on those tires.
Brian Provo, formerly the leader of the race, along with Jacob Ellis. They've traded so many times. I don't know who led the race at the point that Provo came in, but here he is in the pits, and now out of the pits as another car gets sideways just as Provo's coming out. But again, Mario Jacob Ellis is able to stay out one lap later. And, you know, maybe this time it'll be 2 laps later. I'm surprised that Jacob Ellis would be able to get that much more mileage.
Yeah, and I think some of these drivers are pushing their fuel just a little bit too much. I feel like they're putting so much oomph into that engine map that it's getting a lot more fuel out of their car than they might want, and that's gonna, you know, end them up with a really weird pit strategy. I think that some drivers weren't really expecting on that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The only advantage that I could see for Jacob Ellis being able to stay out a lap or maybe 2 later is that he'll be able to make his last pit stop a lap or 2 later, and he'll have a lap or 2 more fresher tires on his cars. Jacob Ellis is coming into the pits right now. Here comes the leader, Mario Jacob Ellis, car number 48, the leader of the race, second in the point standings thus far. And here he comes. Darrell Young is in second right now. We'll see if he stays out, if he's able to go out, stay out for another lap. But Jacob Ellis in the pits, up on the jacks. Let's go down to Jack Arute. Oh, sorry. Jack's not with us today. I always wanted to throw it to Jack Arute. Jacob Ellis now out of the pits. Now, what's going to happen? Last time, Brian Provo was able to pick up the lead when Jacob Ellis came in, but this time I don't think he's going to do it. As a matter of fact, look at the lead that Jacob Ellis has gotten over Provo now. And he's got fresher tires. But Provo's tires are a little bit warmer. He might be able to narrow that gap, but it's almost 3 seconds. This might be day done for the field. Jacob Ellis might have just wrapped it up with that pit stop.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting to see how this strategy has gone to fruition here. So, I mean, a 3-second gap is quite the gap to make on pit road. So I'm really proud of Jacob Ellis for coming up with this great pit strategy that might last him to the race right here.
Still one stop to go for the leaders. Mario Jacob Ellis out in front. He's got 3.3 seconds on Brian Provo and 10 seconds on Wesley Burke. So that doesn't seem to be tightening up at all. Right now, the closest battle on the racetrack is between Matheus Macromini and James Silvers. Silvers has been closing the gap on Macromini. These two have also made their second stop. So one stop to go, one stop left to go for them. Silvers chasing down Macromini, and that's a battle for 5th place. Oh, Silvers, now the report comes. Silvers has got a black flag for speeding in the pits. What a heartbreak for Silvers. He's going to have to come back in, and he's going to throw that potential top 5 away with that. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, and that's just one of those black flag penalties that is just a real heart jerker. You have such a great race, and then you just go a little bit too fast on pit road, and that just ruins the whole race for you. I got to feel for Silvers here. It's happened to me a couple of times. It's one of the worst feelings that drivers can have.
It really is, especially when you're as competitive as somebody like James Silvers. Silvers is just, he tries so hard, and he's so competitive and just really, really wants to win. He radiates that, and here he comes. Here he comes. Is he going to break the speed limit this time? I don't think so. I would hope not. Silvers is going to make his stop and go. I don't think he's going to be able to utilize and change tires during this stop. I don't think that would help him anyway, because we still have 10 laps to go, and he still has another stop left before the checkered flag falls.
Yeah, I want to point out again the battle for first right now. Jacob Ellis now has a 4-second gap on Provo. It was 3, now it is 4 whole seconds. That is an insane lead right now. Can Jacob Ellis hold this lead, do you think, Rick?
Well, I think he can. I mean, knowing Mario, I've been racing with him for I raced with him the entire season last season, and now we're racing the NXT season. I got a pretty good read on this guy, and let me tell you, he's like a robot. He rarely makes a mistake. It's possible. I've seen it happen, but probably out of 10,000 corners, he might make one mistake. Solid driver is that Mario Jacob Ellis.
Yeah, and if you're Provo right now, I'm really curious what he's thinking right now. I'm wondering if he's using this push to pass, or he's going to save it now for maybe a couple more laps later. Because I just feel like the 4-second gap is such a monumental gap that you need to try to figure out how to get back.
Yeah, Brian Provo really, I was thinking maybe he could save fuel and make it, but then again, Mario Jacob Ellis has got at least a lap's worth left of fuel more than Provo, so even with that strategy, that wouldn't pan out, because both of them have to make one final stop. I don't think Provo could stretch it, and if Provo could stretch it, Jacob Ellis certainly can, because he's got a lap on him as far as when he made his last pit stop. But Provo's he's never gonna stop trying. His saving grace might be if Jacob Ellis comes up on traffic and something happens between him and another car. But that's not likely to happen, because as we've seen before, everybody in this series is very gracious and very gentlemanly out there. If they see the leaders coming up, they step aside. They're very courteous like that. So that's not likely to happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this series that I'm really proud of, is that drivers are just so respectful with each other. They rarely get into arguments or incidents that are like in purpose. They are drivers that always stay focused, and they're always very sportsmanlike. And that's something about the IndyCar series that I just absolutely love.
Take a look at Samuel Joseph. You're looking from the in-car camera of James Molyneux. He's been closing the gap on Joseph. They're running right together. That's a battle for 7th place. And Molyneux has just been closing down that gap. He's half a second behind. But now in the draft, that's coming down to now 0.4 of a second. And soon it's going to be 0.3 as they head for the chicane. Once they come out of the chicane, he'll have another opportunity to reel him in with the draft. So we'll keep an eye on that gap and see if Molyneux can reel in Joseph. And no, Molyneux goes around. Oh, what a shame. James Molyneux, he was right there.
Rick, I think that's what we call a broadcaster's curse. I don't know, man.
There it is. There it is. Just bumped over the curbs. You know, these cars are so tightly sprung. As Josef, by the way, is coming in. This should be his final stop if he could stretch it. Samuel Josef coming into the pits, and Molyneux takes a little spin. But these cars are so stiffly sprung that the slightest upset in the balance, you know, could just send the car spinning. That's just the way it is with an Indy car. They're so finely tuned and so stiffly sprung.
Yeah, the Indy cars is one of those cars that is just really hard to tame. I know when I tried racing with it, I could not figure it out for the life of me. I would keep locking up the brakes, or I would just spin out, and I just got so frustrated with it. That's why I started broadcasting this, because I can't control this car with my life. So it's you know, I hate to say it, but it's just one of these cars that I just can never figure out. But it is so fun to watch. That's why I love racing them when I could. It's just because it's just so fun to drive, but just so hard to tame.
So Mario Jacobellis with a monstrous lead. That gives us a chance to talk about another one of our sponsors, Zat Graphics. Zat Graphics is a family-owned independent business with emphasis on Christian values, honesty, and commitment, located in Brownsburg, Indiana. Their service policy means treating each customer with the individual attention that they deserve. Contact them today at zatgraphics.com. Zat Graphics, we can put your design on almost anything.
And I want to go back to our leaders right now. I'm really curious if they have one more stop in them, and I'm wondering if they're fuel saving now, Rick, to maybe get them to the finish now.
They very well could be. There's no real advantage if you're that far behind. I mean, these guys are about 30 seconds behind. I think the leader has it in the bag right now, to be honest with you. He's got one more stop left, and he's just continuing to pour on that distance.
Yeah, and it's now a 6-second gap. We were just talking about it earlier. It's going up a second almost every 2 laps. It's crazy to watch. It was at 3 seconds, then 4 seconds, 5 seconds. I cannot believe the amount of time that Jacobellis is putting onto Provo right now.
Yes, indeed. Just looking, scanning through the sponsor reads, trying to find the last one. I don't have triple screens. I don't even have 2. I only have 1. So it is a little bit difficult for me to do this. But I'm trying to switch from one to another. Meanwhile, let's get back to, okay, so who are we looking at right now? Okay, Cody Anderson. Cody Anderson running in 11th place right now, 7 seconds behind James Silvers. Matter of fact, why don't we go through our top 10 while we have a nice opportunity here. Excuse me, Mario Jacobellis still leads the race. He's got a 6-second lead on Brian Provo, who runs in 2nd place right now. And then behind him, 34 seconds behind Provo, is Darrell Young. Car number 11, he sits in 3rd place right now, the final podium spot. Wesley Burke runs in 4th place right now. He's trying to chase down Young for that final podium spot. Bill Mofield is running in 5th place right now, car number 911. I think we all know what that means, a tribute to the people there, of course, first responders, and of course the victims. God bless them, never forget. Back to 6th place, Jamie Libke, 15 seconds behind Mofield. Jamie runs in 6th. Matthias Macromini runs in 7th place right now, about 3 seconds behind Libke, so it's possible Macromini could run him down. 8th place, Samuel Josef, and 9th, James Molyneux, who's kind of gathered it up and is going to attempt to run Josef down once again. And as a matter of fact, it looks like James Silvers just came around Molyneux. So Molyneux, is he in the pits? Yes, Molyneux's in the pits. Molyneux's in the pits. So Josef moves up to 8th. James Silvers is 9th. Cody Anderson is now in 10th place, and that's your top 10.
And while you're reading through that, I believe Provo just pitted. He's coming out of the pits now. So now that's a 30-second gap between Jacobellis and Provo.
Oh, I see the strategy. I hope that Mario Jacobellis isn't listening to this, because I'm about to expose what's going on here, but that's kind of our job as announcers. We have to point things out. Brian Provo just put on the red tires, and he's going to try to undercut Mario Jacobellis. The distance the last time they passed by was 6 seconds, and I'll tell you, 6 seconds is a pretty large gap to make up on one Mario Jacobellis. But Provo's going to try to get it done. He's on the soft tires. He can run quicker lap times. So now we wait to see, is Jacobellis going to stay out there on the slower, harder tires, or is he going to counter that? Oh, Jacobellis is in the pits. Nope, he's going to try to counter that move. He's going to try to.
Looks like he had a little bit of trouble getting into the pits there.
Oh, he may get a speeding penalty. It appeared to my eye that he was way over the limit when he hit the line. That's going to be an iRacing call. We'll wait to see the official word on that. But he may have thrown the race away there. We're just going to have to see.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It really looks like he just slammed on the brakes. I don't think he really expecting the pit entry to sneak up on him like that. So it's going to be really interesting now. It's now a 6-second gap between Provo and Jacobellis now.
So the gap picks up where it left off. Mario Jacobellis 6 seconds over, and Mario Jacobellis is on the hard tires for this last stint. Next time they go by the start-finish line, there's going to be only 4 laps to go. Got to keep an eye on that gap, but I really don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Well, I think Wesley Burke just went around there.
No, that wasn't Wesley Burke. I'm trying to scan through to see who that was.
Oh, Cody Anderson.
Cody Anderson. Here's the replay of it. He just simply got loose coming around. Just roasted up. Well, look out, is that? Oh, there goes the leader. Mario Jacobellis just had an blank moment there. And it looks like there was no pit speed violation. Sometimes if you're over the pit speed limit, when you hit the line, if you bring it underneath maybe 20 miles an hour and then bring it back up to the pit speed limit, it'll forgive you. Jacobellis probably knows that, and that's probably what he did, because he was definitely over speed coming in.
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of science to it. I haven't been able to figure out that science yet when it comes to pits. I've definitely had my pit trouble sometimes. Usually for me, it's just I can't pull forward enough. But I could have sworn it was a speeding penalty, but I guess he just barely avoided it. It must have been the iRacing God blessing him that day.
Samuel Joseph, we're riding with him right now. He's trying to chase down Bill Mulfield. The distance between them is just about a half a second. Look at him bump over those curves, and you saw the fishtail right there. Samuel Joseph able to hang on to it. Bill Mulfield, is he going to be able to get away from Joseph? Joseph looking to pick up another spot, which is what has been a pretty decent run for Joseph tonight.
Yeah, I think Joseph is running really well today, especially in that Bucky's car. He has just been, last time I cursed him at Sonoma when I started saying he was doing good. So I think now I can say he's doing good because it's only 3 laps left. So I think he'll be okay. But I think Joseph has run a pretty good race so far. He's kept it clean for the most part, and I'm pretty proud of where he's finishing today.
Now you see Joseph locking up the right front wheel as he went down there through, I think that was turn 3. The gap has pretty much maintained itself somewhere around a second, but Joseph does have an opportunity to reel in Mulfield once they hit that straightaway. Sam Joseph on the black tires. Mulfield also on the black tires, so there's no difference there. There's no advantage to be gained or lost. And he's probably going to get on that button right now and try to run him down, but Mulfield will also be on the button to counter that measure.
Yeah, and as Jacobellis just crosses the line, we're now at 2 laps to go here in this race. I think Jacobellis has this in the bag. I don't want to jinx anything. I really do think he has this race swept up under the rug here.
I believe he does. Well, he was the odds-on favorite, him and Provo. Both of them have just been the class of the field here tonight. Mario Jacobellis with just about, let's say a lap and a half to go now. Car number 48, Mario Jacob Ellis, looking for a sponsor on that car. All I see is black and gold with a little red striping on it. Sponsorless as far as the eye can see right now. Maybe Trading Paints is missing something here. We don't know. But here he comes, and he's coming up behind the slower car of Alan Bergen. Alan Bergen, car number 89. And it looks like he's gonna let him through on the inside. He stays high. Here comes Jacob Ellis, going right by on the inside.
And again, we were just talking about it earlier, how polite these drivers can be and just letting the driver by. Sometimes, I've raced in other series. Sometimes you don't really see that in other series. Sometimes people kind of stay in front, but it's just so awesome and nice to see these drivers working together and helping these leaders out when they have to.
Now there's 2 laps to go. That was 2 laps to go. Next time by, there'll be the white flag. Next time by, look at Jacob. Look at how he skates coming around that corner. Back end wants to come around so bad, but Jacob Ellis is just a master on these road courses. He's got a great feel for it. He was able to do the counter steering, and again, he actually put the left side wheels a little bit outside of the line there. So Jacob Ellis, it looks like he might be pushing it a little bit needlessly. And behind him, you just saw Alan Bergen got off the racetrack. Silvers looks like he's going to come around. Provost still trying to reel him in. But Jacob Ellis is just taking off. There's no catching him today. It's not going to happen, Noah.
Yeah, but I think I want to give credit to Provo too. I think they both ran an excellent race tonight. They just kept dogfighting and they never got into each other. And I think that's super commendable for both those drivers. And I really do want to give them a shout out for how amazing the racing was for the 1 and 2 spot.
Here comes the white flag presented by Glove Station for Mario Jacob Ellis. Of course, Glove Station's got the quality gloves and the protective gear to get you across the finish line, so check them out. Glove Station. And also, while we have a chance, let's talk about MK Fire. MK Fire Design. They believe that every hero story deserves to be etched in wood. From the thin red line to every branch of the military, they craft custom handcrafted flags that honor service, sacrifice, and pride. Honor your sacrifice today at mkfiredesigns.com. Every flag has a story. What's yours? And we got a car in the wall. We got a car in the wall. It's Mulfield. Mulfield is in the wall. Bill Mulfield goes back to the pits. So that's day done for Bill Mulfield. Back to the leader now on the backstretch, heading for the chicane for the final time. He's got a 12-second lead on Brian Provo. And boy, oh boy, he really put on a clinic in the last half of this race. As he bounces over and gets sideways a little bit again, he's still got the wick up. Mario Jacob Ellis on the final straightaway, heading for the checkered flag. Here he comes, checkered flag flies, and Mario Jacob Ellis wins race number 3 here in the Goat Locker Racing Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series at Daytona.
Yeah, and I just think this was an amazing race to watch. I mean, as Provo crosses the line there for second, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the drivers out here. I think that was just an amazing race to watch. We didn't see too many incidents, a couple of self-spins, but I just think this was amazing, clean racing by everyone tonight.
Nope, nothing major going on. A couple of spins, like you said. It was exciting. We had some battling for the lead, a lot of battling for the lead. We had battles for third place. We had some other battles going through the field, but on top of the pile is Mario Jacob Ellis. Brian Provo second, Wesley Burke third. So we'll be right back with the interviews right after this.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Okay. We're back at Daytona International Raceway. Goat Locker Racing Lincoln Tech INDYCAR Series. Race number 3 is now in the books, and you can see the race results right there. Mario Jacobellis comes out the winner. He started in second. He ends up in first. He put on a clinic in the final half of the race. Brian Provo was on him most of the race, but ends up falling behind. He ends up in second place. Wesley Burke gets the final podium spot in third. Then Mac Romini will end up in fourth place. And Young, he'll end up in fifth place. Samuel Joseph in sixth. Jamie Lipke seventh. Molyneux will be eighth. James Silvers is ninth. And Wallace, it's Brandon Wallace, not Bubba. It says B. Wallace, don't be confused. That's Brandon Wallace. He'll round out the top 10. And then Bill Mulfield takes home 11th place. Cody Turner, 12th. Bergen will be in 13th. And then it's going to be Cody Anderson, Ryle Pendleton, Sisk, and Minnis. And that's the field. 17 cars showed up tonight. 17 cars finished the race. But on top of them all is Mario Jacobellis, and we've got him right now, right here. Mario Jacobellis, welcome to Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Well, you and Brian Provo really went at it for a little bit more than half the race, and then all of a sudden, what happened? You got the lead, and it was a solid lead after that pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's Daytona, so the draft makes a big difference around here. So we kind of couldn't get away from each other for the first couple stints there, and then I don't know what happened in that one pit cycle, but I got a few seconds ahead of him, enough to break the toe, and from there.
Was that a relief for you? Was that a relief?
It certainly was. It was it was tough seeing him in my mirrors a lot of that time, and then I tried to kind of be all over in his mirrors whenever he got ahead of me too. So we were racing each other hard, but it was good racing with him.
You're trying to get in his head, right?
Exactly, yeah. And then saving a little fuel behind him too. I mean, that's part of playing the game, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Noah?
And you just touched on it. You talked about fuel. I'm curious. Was there any tweaking of the fuel map? Were you going down fuel maps, going up fuel maps? How was that working out?
I wasn't messing with fuel maps. I was just messing with my right foot a little bit when I was behind him there, just kind of going about 3/4 throttle or something once we got through the bus stop, and the draft was good enough where I could kind of just sit in there behind him, and I'm sure that's what he was doing a little bit to me too, because there's a couple times where he had a good run on me, and then it kind of died out. So yeah, we were both playing that game a little bit. I don't know if he was messing with fuel maps or not, but yeah, just the right foot for me.
Well, congratulations, Mario. That was a great job tonight. You put on a clinic in that last half of the race. You may end up with the points lead, although Brian Provo did get the pole. So we'll see how that all shakes out. You and him went into this 1 and 2 in the point standing. So you may have grabbed the lead after this victory. We'll have to wait and see. But meanwhile, congratulations, and go ahead and give out your shout outs.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to thank Lincoln Tech, of course, for sponsoring this series here. It means a lot to have someone like them doing what they do for us. Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, and ATYL. They all do a lot for us, so we appreciate them putting their name out there and helping us out.
All right, Mario. Well, we appreciate you. Congratulations again, and you go ahead and celebrate. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Have a good week, guys.
Thank you. You do the same. That was Mario Jacob Ellis. Now it's time to bring up second place, Brian Provo, and there he is. He magically appears. Brian, a little bit of a heartbreak for you because I know that you got the pole. You were feeling good about this one. You were able to stay with Mario for more than half the race, and then all of a sudden, the last pit stop. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, the classic, locked it up just past my pit stall and, had to, go in reverse. So it cost me, a second or two
Ah,
probably. And then added on to that, put me behind just unfortunate just how racing is, but put me behind a lap car during the bus stop, and not making excuses. Mario's super fast, so you have to have a clean race. He's going to make you earn the win. But yeah, just that little mistake right there in the pit stop kind of put me back, and then he was able to lay down those clean laps without any pressure for me, and just was able to pull away, and I couldn't catch up to him without unless he somehow would have made a mistake, which he obviously he didn't. So, but yeah, it was a fun race at the beginning, and that was fun.
Yeah, and Provo, Jacob Bellis kind of touched on it earlier in his interview about the mental game of it, especially in that first half when you and Jacob Bellis were just going at it ham. Was there a mental aspect to it? Do you feel intimidated? Do you feel pressured by that? I mean, how was the mental feeling about that?
No, I think he probably has the same thought. Like you kind of just get in like a flow state. Like when you're racing against a guy, you kind of learn his patterns and the different turns, and and like you kind of try to gauge on like when you want to attack versus just kind of laying off and let him make trying to figure out what corners that he would say he struggles with, but more like I would struggle getting out of the long sweeping turn onto the first back straight. Like he was a little faster out of that corner, so I was like, okay, so I know once I was in front of him, I was expecting him to gain those 0.2 seconds before getting in the draft. So if I was ever gonna get in front, I'd have to do it a little later post the bus stop. That I was just kind of that first half of the race was kind of filling out his pattern. He was probably doing the same with me, but I would say just getting in that flow state, racing next to somebody that close, learning his patterns, he's learning mine, and just being able to race close and not cause incidents was fun.
that final pit stop, Brian. You threw on the red tires. I think you came in a little bit early. Were you looking for an undercut?
Yeah, I was looking for something, like it's kind of one of those things. If I do the same thing the leader's done, nothing, you're not going to affect anything in the outcome. So it was kind of when, I was assuming that he was probably going to come in and just take a splash of gas because that's all he would need. And, those hard tires would last 20, 25 laps easily on this track. But those reds only last about 5. So I was hoping maybe if he got caught in traffic, I came in, took those reds, I could catch up and, gain a few seconds a lap. And I was just kind of changing like what our pattern was because I would say I was more safe at second, like wasn't a lot of pressure from third at the time. So I was just trying to change something up to be able to catch first place.
All right. Noah, you got anything else for Brian?
Nope.
Okay. Well, Brian, congratulations again on your second place. You started on the pole. You and Mario were 1-2 here tonight. You started 1-2. You're 1-2 right now in the points, and you come away with a second place finish. We'll see how that all shakes out. But we'll see you next week. And go ahead. It's time to give your shout outs.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Jamin Printing and Promotions, V Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics out in Ohio, and then GTR simulators helping Goat Locker be able to give all those sims out to vets and first responders. Then obviously, Lincoln Tech for supporting this series. I think for three seasons now. I forgot how many we've done with the INDYCAR, but yeah, they're supporting the INDYCAR series with us is awesome.
All right, Brian Provo, everybody. Thanks again, and congratulations on your second place, and we'll see you next week. All right, it's time to bring up third place. Third place, not car number 4, car number 04, Wesley Burke, and he's with us right now. He magically appears. like a Star Trek movie. Wesley Burke, third place, a podium. How are you feeling right now? You're pretty thrilled? Oh,
Yes.
no, we don't have him yet. Oh, there he is. There he is. Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm stressed.
Tell us about your race, man. How did it start? What was it like in the middle? What kind of battles did you have going on?
I mean, it was really fun racing with Ryan there until he forgot to put fuel in the car, apparently. So he ran out of fuel. So, and then after that, it was just don't wreck. And I had third because unless Brian and Mario wrecked each other, I had no shot of them. So,
Well, it's a good finish for you, Wesley. You're fourth place in the points. You might overtake Cody for third place in the points. How does that make you feel? Pretty good? You're moving up.
makes me feel a little bit better.
All right. Short and sweet. You got anything for Wesley, Noah?
Yeah, Wesley, I'm just really curious. Third place for you tonight. That's amazing. I'm curious. Is there any races right now coming up in the schedule that you're looking forward to the most right now?
What's the schedule? We go to Richmond later in the season, I think.
Right? Yeah.
That's the only IndyCar official win I have. So
You're mainly an oval guy. You like the ovals, huh?
well, I like the road courses better in IndyCar, actually.
But you're looking forward to Richmond.
Yeah. Mainly just because it's short oval. And I feel like that's what I do best at. And like I said, having a win there and an official. So I think that could do good.
We certainly saw a great race last week on a somewhat of a short track, the mile at Phoenix. That was a barn burner. So I can see why you'd be looking forward to that. We're certainly looking forward to that. Congratulations on your third place. Go ahead and give your shout outs, bud.
SRP team. One of my friends for watching. MK Fire Designs, iRacing, That's Graphics, Harpoon Design, and Lincoln Tech for being the title sponsor of the series.
All right, you got them all in quick fashion. Congratulations again on your third place finish, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
The always excitable Wesley Burke, third place. Well, Noah, tonight was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. We did predict that we would see the two leaders, Provo and Jacob Ellis, going at it, but then all of a sudden, Provo, that's all it takes. One mistake, and it gave Jacob Ellis all the room that he needed to just walk away with it from there.
Yeah, this was just an exciting race from start to finish. I just loved all the battles happening across the field. I love the self-spins and lap cars and how that affects everything and the fuel strategy. It was just, altogether was just an amazing race, and I'm just so excited for next week. We head to Chicago Street. I think that's going to be a really interesting race, and I'm really excited to see how that's going to pan out.
Well, everybody's looking forward to next week when we go to Chicago. I'm looking forward to it. I know that Noah is, and everybody else, all the fans and the drivers. The drivers are looking forward to maybe, scraping their wheels on those walls. The place is surrounded by walls. That is definitely going to be a challenging race. But for right now, Mario Jacob Ellis takes home the win. I'm Rick Ravon for Noah Hogard, and we got to give a shout to Eddie Smith, our producer, up here in the booth with us. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. So long from Daytona.